We are the farmers.
Yo, what's good everybody? My name is DubWar, and today we got a little bit of a different video than the usual. Basically what we got going down today is we're going to be using a random army composition setup that I slapped together. I'm not even too sure what to call this, so if you guys actually come up with something interesting, let me know down below in the comments. But basically all it is we're going to be using a bunch of witches, a couple hog riders, 3 healers, and also a few wall breakers. So obviously I'll be explaining along the way as we do these raids why I picked these troops and not something else. Also, I don't actually show this right now before we go for the raid, but in the clan castle I do have more hog riders. So basically the clan castle is packed with hog riders. I have 8 hog riders on me. You guys can choose, if you're going to use this army composition setup, of course you can choose what amount of troops you're going to be using, but this seems to be working best for me. So let's go ahead and do this very first raid. This guy is a Town Hall 9, offering us 260,000 gold, 320,000 elixir, and 1.5k dark elixir. Now what I'm trying to do here is, because I have these hog riders, I'm going for at least 1 air defense. And because I have so many witches, I do want to try heal them back up to full health if there are any traps, or if you know, defensive towers are starting to target onto them or something like that. I know it seems a little bit stupid because witches are pretty weak and they can't really take much of a hit, but the healers do kind of help. Like you will see in this raid that it does help out quite a bit. So as you guys just saw there, I put down my hog riders for my clan castle and my own hog riders. They took out that air defense and also a couple of the other defensive towers in that area, so it's looking pretty good so far. Unfortunately, my troops are kind of doing like a split push. A lot of them are going to the bottom part and a lot of them to the top part. There's not really much going on in the middle right now, but thankfully my Archer Queen and Barbarian King are kind of swerving their way back in there. Maybe I can get a jump spell down here in a second and at least get my heroes in the middle. But because there's so many skeletons all over the place, these defensive towers don't even know what to target onto. So as long as I can keep my witches alive, I'm pretty much good to go. And it's pretty funny because the point of this army composition setup was to have my healers heal up all of my skeletons, my witches, everything that might be happening. But if you take a look on the very left side, there's only a couple skeletons getting healed up. I think there was like maybe 6 or 7 taking out a wall, and all 3 of those healers were just kind of sitting on those skeletons, which kind of ruined the purpose of this army composition setup. So I guess that might be the only downside of using this, is that sometimes the healers might derp out on you and, you know, only heal up a couple of skeletons when there's like a huge horde of your troops on the other side of the map. So I don't know, I guess it's kind of just dependent on how you put down your healers, when you put them down, and you just got to be kind of precise about it. So I think once you get the use of it, you know when to put down the healers and on what troops, it can be pretty powerful. Just because there's just so many skeletons, it gets pretty ridiculous when there's just a huge horde of them all over the map. Defensive towers have no idea what to do because there's just too much happening. And even like right here, you see there's only a couple skeletons on the Starcher Tower, but still enough to take it out, and it just doesn't stand a chance. So that is pretty much it for that raid. I still have my Archer Queen, and Barbarian King went down. I didn't even notice that actually. So I guess he went down. I did have to use my rage spells and my jump spells just because I'm still new to using this army composition setup. I do want to use the spells and make sure I get the victory, but I didn't have to use the free spells just because no Inferno Towers, and I didn't have to use the lightning spell. So in the end, we walk away with 100% all the resources this guy had to offer us, and pretty decent raid. I don't know. So anyways, here we are with the next raid. Now this is a Town Hall 10, quite clearly. He does have Inferno Towers, and I wanted to attack something a little bit more difficult. Now this is a pretty common layout. When you go up into Champions League, you'll see a lot of Town Hall 10s using this layout, where all the Teslas are right in the very middle, the Inferno Towers, all the like powerful buildings are right in the very center, so it's pretty hard to get to the Town Hall. But let's see how this turns out. So I'm gonna put down the hog riders here. They're gonna take out this hidden Tesla that's being upgraded, and they should start making their way towards that air defense. There was a spring trap there, unfortunately, so that's gonna take out a couple of my hogs. So I'm gonna put down my own hogs. Another spring trap goes off there, so that is already not looking too good for me, because that is gonna hurt my rate a little bit. I wasn't able to take out that air defense, but I do have the lightning spell, so let's see if that helps. So that took out some of the clan castle troops. That almost took out the air defense. It did take out the wizard tower next to it. Unfortunately, I still got to go with this raid. I'm not saying unfortunately, but that's the wrong word for it. I still got to go for this raid because I don't really have any lure out troops. I should probably change that for next raid. Maybe bring like a couple archers so I can drag them out to the corner or something like that. But it doesn't matter too much, just because when I put down all the witches, they immediately spawned all of those skeletons. So they just basically shoved their way through and wasn't much of a problem. As soon as they took out that air defense, I put down my healers, and those are going to do a pretty good job because they are focused on my Archer Queen, so she's going to be able to take out a lot of these buildings. I had to put down my first free spell there on that Inferno Tower just because I was scared it was going to start melting away all of my witches. So looks like Barbarian King is right in the very middle. I put down my second free spell there. Probably wasn't actually needed to, I put it down too early personally, that's what I think, but we'll see how this goes. Barbarian King is on the Town Hall, and Archer Queen is still also very, like, pretty much in the middle there. I got the healers in the middle as well. Unfortunately, they're all dead now. So let's see what happens here. Barbarian King just clutches that, so we did get the Town Hall. He should be able to take out... No, he's done. He's dead. Okay, goodbye. So we still have a bunch of troops on the bottom part here. I actually have a lot of witches still making their way through there. Archer Queen's on the top part. She's going to be able to take out that gold storage there. And I think that is slowly going to wrap up this raid. We are at 59%. We still got a bunch of skeletons on the bottom part here. Got a couple of witches. I can't really count how many right now. I think that's 3, 4, something like that. So they're still working away at that gold storage. Obviously, I want to get what I can out of this guy, so I'm going to let them keep on spawning those skeletons, and they're going to be making their way through that gold storage. But that's pretty much it for this raid. There's not much else to commentate. It's 61% right now, 2-star. So I'm pretty happy so far with this raid. I mean, especially with a base like this, you know, you'll see this up in Champions League. I know that the bases are way harder up there because the defensive towers are basically maxed out. It's not much to compare, but it still got the job done, and I managed to get the 2-star victory, so I'm pretty happy with it. And because I've never used this army before, you know, I think it's respectable. I don't know about you guys. So anyways, that is going to wrap up this video. I'm sorry that is kind of short, but if you guys wanted part 2 to this and you want me to use the same army composition setup, let me know down below in the comments, and we'll go for about 3 or 4 more raids like this. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, make sure to smack that like button down below. Helps me out a bunch, and I will see you all later. So peace, guys, and keep clashing.